Welcome back to Vanna Media. My name is Boniface Owino, and as usual, I'm going to be your host for today. Now, we've been visited by one of the university leaders. I'll give him time. I will give him time to maybe introduce himself before before I also give Professor to introduce himself, and then we jump back into our discussion. Brother Karibu.
Thank you. My name is Karel Omoyo. I'm from Multimedia University. And today we are here to discuss the state of the nation. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to the discussion.
Okay. Prof.
Yes.
Karibu.
Yes, so as you know, as usual, my host today is Boniface, and my name is Professor Fred Ogola. I'm one of the co-conveners of Concerned Citizens Movement, and this is one of the movement that actually should be able to deliver the nation. And if you allow me, Boniface, I've been telling people, we shall have two horses. One horse is a political horse, and that horse does horse trading based on tribal alliances, kingpins, and the rest. They are based on lies, broken promises, and unfulfilled promises to Kenyans. And the second horse, which is emerging, that I'm sure here, my brother Moya will join, this horse is called Concerned Citizens Movement, which is issue-based, concerned about the governance, the leadership, accountability, and the economic liberation of the people of Kenya. Because I can tell you, if we don't fix this economy, no one will have anything to eat in the few days, and time is moving.
Okay, Prof.
Yes.
I want us now to talk about the state of the nation economically.
Yes.
And one thing I know of is that when we talk about the state of the nation, we have got three categories. We have got the boom economy, we have got normal economy, and then we also have got rational economy. Yes. Now, both boom and normal economy normally takes 30%.
Yeah.
That is brings it to 60, and then the 40% is given to rational. What do you think? What do you think is happening right now with the boom economy? Let me start with the student leader. Now you are the Gen Zs. You are representing now the Gen Zs. I want you to tell us what do you understand according to now with the state, the way things are running around in the country. What do you think is going to happen? Like for instance. According to the plan of Kenyans, or according to the plan of the president when he was taking power, they expected that the GDP of Kenya will be at 5.4 at the end of the year. That is 2024. And then things changed. I don't know where things changed, but now the expectation was that if 2024 will be 5.4%, then coming 2025, it will be 5.6. Do you think they will be able to achieve this by the end of the year?
Thank you. I don't think the government, as it stands, will be able to achieve that. First of all, the biggest problem we have in Kenya is we don't have an enabling environment for external investors to come and invest in the country. We have a problem of overtaxation, whereby we tax too much to the extent that we cannot collect enough. The more you tax, the less you collect. Yeah, because people are not encouraged to get into private business and maybe expand their portfolios. So as it stands, with the gone finance bill, I don't think Kenya is at a position of achieving the 5.5 that they were envisioning.
So it will be very difficult. It won't be easy.
Yeah.
Now, Prof.
Yes.
What do you say? Before I ask you this question, I also wanted to ask. Let me just combine them.
Yes.
In your book of Solomonic economy, there is something that you stated about the Nilotic economy and the Bantu. I don't know. It's Bantu expansion.
Yes.
Can you connect it with the GDP of Kenya?
So first of all, remember that during the baby boomers and actually how the population has been growing. In page 114 of Solomonic Economics, I talked about the youth population bulge. And this youth population bulge is the main denominator on what is happening. Even Robert Ouko, when he was a minister in Kenya before he died, Robert Ouko had said that we are running this economy unsustainably. And in fact, even I'm very happy here that my brother Moyo is here. My brother, I'm sure you come from Kisii, isn't it?
Yes.
Kisii women are among the most fertile women, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kisii are Bantus, right?
Yes.
So you look at when you see like in Kisii, in lower lands, a woman is giving birth to 4 children in That's quad what? It's called quadruples,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
As an economist, when we see that, we are not seeing fun. We're asking ourselves, if a woman can give birth to 4 in 9 months of pregnancy, the fertility rate is very high. Is the economy as fertile as the women in Kisii?
Yeah.
So if economy is not equivalently fertile, meaning that but population growth will grow faster than the economy, so the economy cannot compensate population growth, and therefore brings a challenge. And this is the challenge I'm talking about. You've heard that 60% of young people in Kenya are unemployed, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a smaller problem.
Yeah.
The bigger problem is that 60% of Kenyans will never be employed. No, that's different.
Yeah.
Unemployed means they might be employed, isn't it?
There's possibility.
But if we say 60% of Kenyans will never be employed, unless the economy grows faster than this one is growing, it won't work. Because the economy should be the denominator. But if the population is the denominator, then it means that the people cannot be compensated. Now, do this. Just go to Huru Park in Nairobi. Go to Kamukunji grounds in Mombasa. Go to Makarara grounds in Mombasa. Go to Kamukunji grounds in Taita Taveta. Go to Kisumu, there's Kenyatta grounds. You find that a young man, or not a young man actually, a man who is 45, 48 years old is still sitting in the jobless corner.
Yeah.
Meaning that 12 years to retirement, he has not worked and he will retire without working.
Yeah.
You try and
So
employed.
these 60% of people are people who never see a pay slip. Now, what is the quality of population we are having? Can you imagine that your father never worked? You don't work. Your children will never work. Then we are actually killing generation and generation. And that's what I'm trying to say. If the current government do not find a Solomonic formula, which is in the book there, on how to grow the economy faster than the population is growing, then the youth unemployment will remain. And therefore, I am saying this. Whether Ruto is the president, or even you'll be a president tomorrow, street demos will continue. As the street demos continue, you cannot collect revenue because there is no economic activity, and you are collecting less. You increase taxes to collect less, then the demos follow you. Therefore, there is going to be a vicious cycle when the economy cannot recover and demos continue until the country collapses. And that's why I'm telling William Ruto, please wake up. Do not solve for us an economic problem using a political solution by bringing Raila Odinga into government, because what these guys have done are called a ceasefire. The ceasefire does not mean we have actually reconciled and there's peace. Gen Zs will still go into the street, isn't it? People will still go complain about everything. You see, like today, the newspaper is showing doctors will go on strike, teachers in secondary school will go on strike, university lecturers will go on strike. I'm sure even now, other people start joining. And this is not good for the country. We need a head of state who is economically sensitive and aware, rather than a president who is more politically aware. And let me put this clearly. The number one virtue to elect any leader, even as Omoyo, as a student leader, is honesty. If you are dishonest, the government system will be dishonest. There will be corruption. And with the high corruption, we cannot have an economic growth at a level that can compensate the growing population. Because China grew faster, but they had meritocracy in their system. They had a clean government system. And therefore, the economy grew faster that can compensate them. And remember, when you see Chinese working here, building houses, isn't it? Do you know how it's happening? The Bank of China is financing a Chinese to compete with you in Kenya. For you as a Kenyan, if you go to Somalia, you go to Rwanda, you go to Burundi, can Kenyan government send you money to win a tender in Burundi?
They don't have that money that they
so
can.
So that's
they can
what I'm
send
trying
you.
to say. The economy need to grow in a way to compensate the Kenyan economy. And the last point I'm trying to draw here is the Kenyan human resource is highly developed beyond of the economy. If you look at people with PhDs, master's degree, are more than the jobs that require a PhD, master, and a degree. And if you have a well-developed human resource, but the economy is not well-developed to consume them, then the human resource development is ahead of the economy, and the population is ahead of the economy must actually suffer, and that's why we talk about the challenge that now the youth bulged. And we don't talk about youths who are uneducated. We are talking about highly educated, more intelligent than us and their government. Therefore, you can't play with them. And that's why this thing has to be solved in an economic way, not by bringing thugs in the government and passing them through parliament. Like I said, the parliament, which has come a washing machine that cannot detect the dirt, isn't it? They cannot sterilize them. Oparanya, after the scandals in Kakamega, cannot be washed in parliament, isn't it? Now he's in energy. What has happened? The energy, the tokens, electricity cost has gone up, isn't it? John Mbadi, who was whatever he's in ODM, he has come to Treasury. He's talking about coming back with the finance bill.
With the finance bill,
David Chirchir was the one who was bringing cost of energy. Now Murkomen, who was the one raising levy, road levy in the Ministry of Transport, has gone. Now the Ministry for Transport has again come back with increasing levy of roads. But not only that, toll in Thika Road, which was built by Kibaki, the bypasses, isn't it, which were built. So how can someone collect taxes on what they didn't build? Among all those roads they're increasing levy, Ruto didn't build any. So Rutonomics, as opposed to Solomonic, is economic, whereby you want to milk a cow that you didn't give napier grass, neither did you give water, but you are just milking them. So that's the Rutonomics that cannot solve this current political economic situation.
So, Mr. Mwayo,
Yes.
I want to ask you this question before I throw it to Professor. It is very urgent to solve to fix the economy of Kenya. But now the question is how urgent it is.
It is very urgent, by the way. And we need to do it as soon as possible.
And okay, as we talk about how urgent is it, I want you also to tell us how do you think President William Ruto should fix this economy as urgent as possible?
Okay, what I can say is, first of all, Kenya has had 2 revolutions so far. We had the fight for independence, whereby we sent the white man back to their country, and we succeeded. Secondly, we had the second revolution, which was a political revolution, which was crowned by the 2010 constitution. And right now what Kenyans are asking for is we need a third revolution. And the third revolution will be an economic one. And I don't see Ruto being in a position to solve the economic crisis we are facing. Not unless he changes systems, of which he cannot change systems because he was part in creating those problems that we are facing at this moment. As much as we are speaking about the economic landscape of Kenya, the biggest problem we have in Kenya, which is the elephant in the room, is the debt crisis. We have more debts than we ever needed. And Kenya cannot survive because, like they said, about 77 shillings of every 100 shillings that the government collects goes into debt service. Imagine if we had all that 100% being put into development. We could not have seen scenes like the one I saw of a border rider who spilled all his milk
on the road.
Now he's jobless. We can't have such things because first of all, we don't have money in Kenya. And it's because all our money is going into debt servicing. Secondly, we need to... Kenya, I was listening somewhere and I heard that Kenya, Africa in general, is the most heavily regulated environment in the world. Someone was comparing starting a business in Kenya and starting a sister business in the UK. In 2 years' time, the business in the UK had earned her a lot of profits. But the one in Kenya was still trying to get on its feet. And it's because of the regulations that we have put for ourselves. I feel like some of them are imposed on us by the IMF and
the World Bank, yeah,
and the rest of the world global leaders.
Mm.
But it is a situation that we can decide to get ourselves out of. Like recent events that have surfaced is Kenyans have realized we are actually heavily resourced. We have a lot of minerals everywhere in the country, and they are being fenced in the name of being reserves. But the people are actually doing mining there and selling our minerals for their own personal benefits, but also selling them at throwaway prices. We should nationalize all these resources. If first of all, the only way we can solve this dilemma that we have at the moment is first of all, do a thorough audit of the debt in Kenya, especially the one which has been accrued within the Kenyatta government and the Ruto government.
Yeah.
We do a thorough debt audit and find out how much we borrowed, how much we needed, how much we've paid back, and what else we owe. Once you get rid of all the odious debt, then we know what we have in mind.
So in short, it will be easy for us to tackle these problems.
Yes. And I know from independent auditors who have audited the finances, the government actually owes Kenyans money. They have paid more than we borrowed. And we need to ask for some of these refunds. That's one. 2, we need to nationalize all the resources in Kenya. The minerals, the oil. I hear there is oil in Kenya. And all the other resources that we have. And put them in the consolidated fund. And help with the servicing, if we have any debt after the audit is done, to service those debts. Afterwards, I know we have extra money. There will actually be more money in people's pockets because it will create a ripple effect whereby people are able to borrow money from banks and they can start new businesses, they can grow existing businesses. And these youths which are on the streets every day, they will be absorbed into these businesses. And they will be employees and they will make a living for themselves and thereby spur even more economic growth. But as it stands, what I can tell you is, and my professor here can agree, Ruto cannot do the debt audit that we are speaking of because he was there when they were accruing those debts. And some of those debts did not even reach the Kenyan Consolidated Fund. And that is the question we need to ask. Kenyans need either, if he can't prosecute himself together with all the cronies who have been in the former government, then he can't oust himself, then Kenyans will have to oust him. And here is my point. The Gen Zs have been leaderless for a long time, and even the millennials, and that is the biggest problem we've had. So far, we have achieved very little because here the finance bill that was rejected will be coming back soon. And because the president entirely has the entire parliament, essentially, there's nothing we have at our disposal. So we need to reorganize. And that's where now we should be looking at in the current situation.
Okay, Professor.
Yes.
In January 18th, 2024, the IMF gave 6 reasons of Kenya's extended fund program and why Kenya was supposed to be funded by them. And I think it was today the treasury, that is John Mbadi, was supposed to sign a letter that accepts IMF to give funds to Kenyans. But my question is IMF and World Bank organizations backing the economy of Kenya as is expected? And if yes, how is their support going to affect Kenya's economy?
Yeah, first of all, we have to understand some fundamental things. Just like in Kenya, we have banks, isn't it? what is the main interest of a bank in an economy? You know, the asset of a bank is the loan book.
Yeah.
Which, how much money does it give to people, and can they be able to pay back? So IMF and World Bank is not Kenya. IMF and World Bank are banks that needs to lend their money
To Kenya.
and their main interest is to lend money to people who can pay. Why are they not lending to Somalia? Let them go lend to other countries. Why is Kenya so lucrative? Because they can make their money back. So IMF and World Bank is not our treasury. Our treasury, the word treasury, is supposed to hold Kenyans' asset in trust and ensure that the money coming in is coming into the interest of Kenyans. So according to me, my view has always been, don't discuss about World Bank, don't discuss about IMF, discuss about the decision maker who accepts the loan or not. For example, Boniface,
Yes.
let's assume that you are married. I know you are not, but
Yes, I'm not married, please.
Yes. So let's assume you are married.
Yes.
If your wife goes to use the assets that you have in your house to take a loan, do you start quarreling the bank?
No. You call the person that have taken loan.
Yes. Omoyo,
Yes.
if your wife cheats on you, do you start shooting all the men she's sleeping with?
No.
No, because you'll shoot everybody if she's a woman who is meant to do that, isn't it? So you focus on who is the agent. We have to understand that the agent is the president and the president and his government, and then checked by parliament. So we should ask those people to explain to us. We should not even talk about World Bank. That's why I told the Gen Zs, don't occupy IMF, don't occupy World Bank. You are attacking your visitor.
Yeah.
So you can use the World Bank to your success or you can use it to your failure. Depends on what is your fiscal policy. So Kenyans were very wise by saying all the debt must pass through consolidated fund. Now, there is a former government that went and expunged the requirement to put money under consolidated fund. That's one mistake which was done. Secondly, Parliament in 2014 went and passed a bill to amend the Constitution, the Public Finance Act, by saying that you do not need approval from Parliament to borrow money.
Yeah.
And that actually removed the requirement to oversight the executive. Now, you know, the president can go to China and borrow money there on his own and there's no parliamentary approval. So what is happening is that money actually don't come here.
It goes to his pocket.
Yes, of course.
But you have to pay it.
Because you have to pay it. For example, when you talk about odious debt, odious debt is a debt which has not helped the citizens. It's a sovereign debt which has not helped you. So it looks, for example, Boniface, that you have someone who catches up with you on the street and tell you, vomit bread. And you have never eaten bread for the last 3 months. How can you vomit bread which you have not eaten? So there's a debt that should have come to Kenya, but it didn't come. And it is in your stomach. So you shall vomit it. Can you imagine? If I tell you, you took my bread, vomit it, and you have never eaten bread. So this debt we are paying, it never came to the economy, and we are being told to vomit that money back to IMF and World Bank, and never came here. And I'll give an example. The Euro bond, which was there even before Ruto took over government. There's a bank called Morgan Chase that testified that some of that money never came to Kenya. Some of them remain outside there. Where is that money? Is there hanging on air?
And we have to pay it.
When you hear our leaders have gone to Dubai, you think they have gone to see the city?
No.
When you hear they have gone to watch Formula One in I don't know which country, you think they have gone to watch a game?
They are going to enjoy our money, eh?
They have gone to transfer money there. They have made a transaction there. Then the same Dubai investors come to Kenya to invest here. When you see Andani coming to buy your airport, where have they got the money? It is your money you have gone to keep there, and that money needs to be put into use. Then somebody comes to take that money, then buy your airport. Then they leave you as slaves. So we are having a challenge where we have to deal with the highest level of honesty. Secondly, which I think also is going to answer the question as to what is going to happen with the issue of the IMF and World Bank. World Bank and IMF have not been able to turn around any economy. And that's not their fault. It is the economy that might want to be turned around, isn't it? As we know. So according to me, World Bank and IMF has never been the enemy. The enemy is the leaders we chose. And also, if I want just to add another point that Omoe was saying, that we chased away the white person, actually they are coming back to destroy our third liberation. Because now when someone owns you, you know, why do we encourage Kenyans to start budgeting according to the taxes they pay? Cut your coat according to your size.
The president said that we live according to our means.
No, but he's not living according to his means himself. He went to get a plane from UAE when he was going to the US. Why didn't he use
Kenya Airways?
Kenya Airways. So those are lies.
He goes with an entourage of 70 vehicles to launch a Porsche mill in Kisii.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what are those are not priorities.
Yeah, in fact, there's a joke in the media where everybody's now launching everything. I saw somebody launching his girlfriend.
A bunch of
Another
maize.
So
Another one was launching a baby after 9 months.
So Kenyans are really telling the president that even us, we have a pair of scissors.